Prepare yourselves, fools. This program contains graphic language like fuck, shit, and cunt. It also contains discussions about violence and graphic descriptions of gore, such as cunt punning a dead nun while the entrails and blood splatter your face in your new shirt. I digress. This show is for adults, so dispose of your children as you see fit. Now silence and enjoy the show.
Joe, get me a Snapple.
Bigfoot, undisputedly the world's most entertaining cryptid. Join the Reverend Jeff Kelly and your old pal Wes as they discuss the best and worst the media has to offer. Movies, books, TV shows, commercials, all on Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly.
Oh, yeah, people. That's right. I am the Reverend Jeff Kelly, your interportal travel agent to the stars. That's right. You want to go through an interportal? Yell at me now, and I'll get you hooked up with all the right people. With me, as usual, for Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly is your old past, Wesley Losner. How you doing, sir?
Greetings.
That's right. We're going to try and speak with an English accent tonight so that we can pretend to be as hoity-toity as that asshole-ish little douchebag in the film we had you watch this evening. That's right. X-Creatures. Shooting the Bigfoot. Yeah, I want to shooting the bird to you, you little twitty English motherfucker. Anyhow, Leslie, my man, you chose this gem of a, hey, everything's fake and I'm a dickhead film. So why don't you get us started on it, pal?
Hey, what am I always saying? Everything's fake! So, of course I'm going to pick this one. But yeah, so I saw this on Netflix, so I figured we'd give it a watch because they've got a Yeti one and this Bigfoot one. And I wanted to do this one because, you know, I thought it was pretty funny that this guy just is like, yep, it's a fucking hoax, and this is why, so fuck you guys, Bigfoot ain't real.
That's right, Bigfoot doesn't exist because it was never real.
Yeah.
The Dr. Evil laugh doesn't work when you have an evil fucking English accent, but well, I digress.
So it starts off, I gotta give him this though. This documentary had cool little reenactments. So like it starts off in Oregon in 1928 and they're doing the reenactment of the Fred Beck, you know, and
the Boulder Canyon Ape Canyon reenactment. You guys don't go now here's the thing is they always see Cameron Young's out there tonight too, and he'll back me up on this. Depending on which story you listen to about Ape Canyon, either Fred shot the creature over and it fell over the cliff before they came and attacked, or they came and attacked and then they shot one and it fell over the hill as they were hightailing their asses out of Ape Canyon. But the fact still remained that there were two incidences, just not sure whether it happened before or after the giant bouldering of the cabin. But yeah, that was badass, dude. They did a pretty legit job of making me feel as though I was watching the Ape Canyon encounter.
Yeah. And then, so right after that attack, you get your introduction to fucking Lord Fancy Puss.
Lord Fancy Puss.
And he basically comes out, like, the only way I could describe this is if, I don't know, man, like, if you guys just gotta watch it. He's a real flamboyant Englishman. All right, very feminine kind of fella. So this little dainty Brit guy comes out, and he's you know, Brits like the flying planes. If they're doing a documentary, they want to see themselves in a plane, just like
Flying to the Bigfoot.
the veterinary guy or whatever, that douchebag. This guy's just the same way. He wants to get in an airplane. So then while he's on the plane, he's giving you the rundown on the Pacific Northwest, you know, giving his description because he's going to check it out. He's going to find
I'm going to
answers.
America and proving that there's no Bigfoot at all. I'm Robin Leach, and I don't know why.
And so they're talking about, I don't know how to say this, but I'm just going to...
Lifestyles of the bullshit and hoaxers. I'm here on the West Coast with Wesley Losner of the Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly.
And they call it the Bookwuss?
The Bookwuss? The Puckwookie? The Chuckwuss? I'm not sure. I'm going to do a whole study into Native American Bigfoot names and tales and descriptions here pretty soon. That's not for season 5 of the SLP. That's got a really special season coming up for you next season. Season 5 on the Squatchers Lounge podcast is going to be off the chain. That's all I can tell you. Anyhow, sorry. Moving back on to Lord Fancipus.
Lord Fancipus. So then they're talking about the Bookwuss, and he's talking with some tribal dude. Well, that's what I guess, because I don't think they ever put a name down for the guy. And he's like talking about, you know, certain things that happened, and he's telling Lord Fancipus. And then what's it called? They show his sighting that he had back in '93, and that's when I think he shined the light up on it, and the female got down
in the fetal position.
Yeah.
And the male kind of crouched down with his arm up over his eye to block the light, and then they didn't move for like 20 minutes. They're like in the spotlight, like not moving. And I can get that. You can glean a little bit of information from an encounter story like that, believe it or not. I mean, if this is true, this would lead us to the whole ninja of the woods theory, to where Sasquatch, when questionable movement is about with humans, would just stop, sit down on a rock, and watch you walk right past them. Humans don't tend to pay attention to anything in the woods that isn't moving, because it all looks the same to them. So if a Sasquatch was literally sitting with his back to you and not moving, you probably wouldn't even see it. You'd probably walk within 10 yards of it. If it didn't startle, you'd never even know it was there. Lord Fancipus.
That's why Sasquatch art is so hard to sell, because you can't see it.
That's right. That's right. You can't see the Sasquatch in the art.
Anyways, so Danny Boy, Fancipus goes and looks at a bunch of totem poles and stuff, and then he starts talking about gorillas. And he's going to talk about gorillas again later, but he likes gorillas. And he's a gorilla fucker, is what I'm saying. But
I heard somewhere on the internet that Lord Fancipus is a gorilla fucker. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
I mean, you may have actually heard it on this. The views and opinions of the host and callers are not necessarily the views and opinions of Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly. You may have actually heard that on our show, but
they are.
I heard somewhere on the internet that Lord Fancipus likes to fuck gorillas.
He really does.
You know, we got a bear fucker and a gorilla fucker.
And a gorilla fucker. It's, you know, they get wild over there in the UK.
Lord Fancipus.
Yeah, so Fancipus goes over to John Green's house, and they check out John Green's
and he
copy.
calls him up on the phone and just like jacks him like he's somebody important. You know, he totally calls up, "Hi, John Green. Yeah, I'm so-and-so with National Geographic Worldwide. We'd like to do an interview with you." Motherfucker, you Lord Fancipus trying to disprove Bigfoot. Why don't you tell him that? I'm doing an expose on Bigfoot, is everything in Bigfoot is hoax or fakes, and how the Patterson Gimlin film wasn't real. Would you be interested in talking to me? Fuck
and
no.
Showing us the copy of your
Right. No, he wasn't honest with him. No, he fucking used him like a douchebag.
So
Lord Fancipus.
There's an old reenactment of that. After they just showed you the real footage, they reenact it for you. And so then they get to talking about Patty's tracks and how heavy she was. And then this is where he talks about gorillas again, because he compared the height or the size and weight to a mountain gorilla. And he's like, this
a
is only
Bigfoot would
supposed
weigh
to be
twice as much.
Yeah. And it was weird. So the way he like broke it down. However, he did break down something that I was like, oh, okay, they got something here.
They're going off of the old deal when Bob Gimlin tells stories of when Patterson was down there, down on his knees, friggin' casting Patty's tracks where she had walked across the sandbar there. He was hopping off of the stump there, trying to make as deep impression in the sand as what Patty had walked. But he wasn't even stomping into the same type of substrate, and he was in cowboy boots, and he's like 5'1" and weighs like 92 pounds. You got to compare apples to apples when you're making prints and substrate. Human footprints obviously can't make Bigfoot tracks in the sand. Bigfoot's in the snow.
Bigfoot's in the snow. But so after the tracks,
Bigfoot, my old friend,
come to talk with you again. But so Danny Boy talks about the prints while he's sitting by a lake. Now, what you're gonna notice at this moment is, oh shit, I haven't been paying attention to this, but this motherfucker has basically, anytime that they're showing him in some scenery, he's got some kind of like little like,
oh yeah, he's like
pose that he's trying to like accomplish.
The senior year poses.
Yeah,
he's trying to look good on camera.
Like the cameraman's fucking with him, like, nah, I'm gonna put you trying to get it in the film.
Yeah,
you see him adjusting himself.
Is that it? Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, there you go. It's like, here, just keep rearranging until I give you the thumbs up. When you see the thumbs up, hold that pose. Ready? Action.
Yeah, we'll edit that out, right? Yeah, don't worry, Lord Face.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll look great.
So then from there, they go to this story about a guy saw Bigfoot, and what he said was
wait. Are you going to skip the whole recreation of the Patterson film?
No, I said, remember, they showed us the Patterson film, and then they reenacted it.
Oh, yeah, but no. We got to go back to that for just a moment. They didn't even go to the film location. At the time that they made this documentary.
Oh, no, that's later on in the...
Okay.
Where they get it to do the patty walk and all that shit.
Yeah. Where they got the camera and redid. Okay, all right. So I'm sorry.
That's not reenacting. That's them testing his hypothesis
theory.
Or whatever.
Right. Okay, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun a little bit.
Yeah, no worries.
Sometimes that happens. I don't want to miss out on shit.
But
Lord Funsipus.
Here's the story about a Bigfoot, and the guy said that the Bigfoot were harvesting squirrels that were hibernating, in rock.
And he's like, and why would I move a 70-kilogram rock to get a squirrel? No, jackass. When you find the squirrels, there's 3 dozen of them laying in there hibernating. This is like a smorgasbord. I mean, it would be like my fat ass at Golden Corral. I mean, that's why you have 3 Bigfoot all piling through the rocks together. When you find the den, it's just like a shitload of friggin' squirrel to eat. And those things are the size of like groundhogs, woodchucks. They're pretty damn big.
Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom.
The size of a chicken breast.
That's right. Speaking of breasts, don't forget the latest Bigfoot campfire story. It's got breastises in it.
Breastises.
A mama squatch, a baby squatch, a toddler squatch, and what the fuck is that? I don't know. You have to listen to the Bigfoot campfire story to find out.
2 flip-flopping the titties.
That's right, flip-flopping the titties. I'm so promoting the shit out of stuff tonight, but that's what it's all about when it's our show, right?
Mm-hmm. What's called? So
have we gotten to the bottom of page 1 yet?
I'm about to right now. This is when they get to this hunter. And he talks about his sighting where he looked at it through binoculars, but then looked at it through his gun scope, and he thought it was a bear. And then what's it called? It stood up, you know, and then he was like, "Oh
Didn't
shit!"
have the profile of a bear. Yeah, dude, that
Yeah.
would be freaky. Because he had been sitting there watching it, and it was foraging, so he knew he had some time. I mean, it was going to be eaten for a bit. So he's watching it through the binoculars, and then he decides, well, I better get set up for a shot. So he, you know, I'm sure he positions himself up on a tree or whatever the case is. So you don't really want to take an ass shot because it kind of runs up the gut and runs a bunch. It just, you take the risk of polluting the meat, but you usually wait for them to sit sideways, and then you shove around right down through their organ cavity, and they die. But this thing stood up on two legs. And that would just be like something you wouldn't expect it to do in the first place. And then to realize that it wasn't shaped like a bear. Even from 150 yards, you'd be able to tell that that's not a bear. That's a Sasquatch.
Ain't no bear.
Twernt no bears. That's the bottom of the page, or is there more?
No. Speaking of twernt no bears, let's holler at them bears in the
Holler at them gorilla fuckers in the lounge.
all them goddamn gorilla fuckers in the live chat.
Hello, live chat people. How you doing out there today? Stars shine. I see you're there. You're always bright and shiny. James the Grower. How you doing there, Chief?
He's growing tomatoes and peanuts.
That's right. Peanuts and Apple Jacks. Cameron Young. That's right. He's our
You can
official.
grow Apple Jacks?
Probably if you tried really hard. He's our official archiver. He knows everything. And now batting third. Playing second base.
If he's our archiver, he needs to go and fuck tally all our shows.
Jeremy. Mitchell. Hey, that's right. The room moderator, Mr. Dean. I'm a quasi-terrorist Cooper.
Oh.
That's right. Let's see here, Mr. Rod Dupree.
In the place to be, bitches.
That's right. I went down to Australia and I got me a case of the Kurt Harris. How you doing, Kurt? Yeah, that case of the Kurt
Sounds
Harris.
like it burns.
Yeah, it burns when you poop. That's the scary part.
I get that after Buffalo night.
Buffalo night. Let's see here. I got to scroll up the list here a little bit now to find some people that were here. Sam Rivera, how you doing, buddy? Glad you were there.
Sam Rivera's starting pitcher for the
California fuck nuts. Rod's eating homemade chocolate chip cookies. Yum. I think that's gonna be I saw Mr. John Haber in the room. Oh yeah, hey, Snapped Chatters. There's a whole crap ton of new videos up, dude. If you haven't seen the new videos from Snap,
you guys have
Chatters,
no idea of what's about to unfold this week either.
Boom, shaka-laka. That's right. I put up a brand new Bigfoot campfire stories last Saturday, like I promised, and coming this Thursday, another brand new Bigfoot campfire stories. How you like that? Mr. Kyle Murrow finally slid into last base there. Sorry, pal, you're out. But hey, glad you got to see your name up in shining lights. All right, that's who's hanging out in the live lounge. Hang out tonight. Come back and see us Wednesday night for the show you missed last week. That's right, the greatest show that never happened. We're talking about some crazy crap from South America that I can't pronounce, and there are dead ones involved. The Wusu, that's right. Wednesday night, supposedly at 8 p.m. We'll find out from David. We should be good. We'll see what happens. All right.
It should be from Wednesday to Thursday.
Maybe Thursday, Wednesday at 8, maybe Thursday evening, never after that though, but we're working on it. He had a little bit of a delivery issue with his system last week, so his studio was down before the show. So we should be able to get it off this week and have a good time doing it. But season 5 is coming, and the Squashers Lounge podcast is going to explode. All right there, Chief. Let's get this shit wrapped up.
All right. Speaking of wrapped up.
We've already gone longer than the fucking video was. So
yeah. Speaking of wrapped up, we'll get to where they start talking about the Cripple tracks in
Chirena.
Now
that's an interesting. There was information in that I never realized before. So
yeah, they were talking about the whole cripple foot thing. Grover Krantz came in. It was like, yo, and gave his whole spiel. But then I don't know if a whole lot of people catch this shit, but Grover Krantz took a minute to tell the fucking lady interviewing him, I think it was a lady, might have been a dude, I don't know, maybe it was Lord Fancypuss, but he took a minute to be like, you know, no one thinks like this. The only person to have thunk like this is me. And the last time someone else ever would have been able to contemplate thinking like
was
this
Albert
was
Einstein.
Leonardo da Vinci. You know? And you're like, did he just fucking say that like he's the only smartest person in the world or some
Krantz
bullshit?
believed that. Krantz believed that he was the smartest scientist on the planet.
Well, just bless him.
And yes, I'm being disrespectful on purpose for not using doctor. And lots of people know why.
I forgot he was a doctor. That's the only reason why I didn't say it. I just forgot. Oh well, I don't really care. But so then there's a video of dude walking the patty walk and shit. All right, and now, okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. They showed this guy who was like 6 foot, and he was walking it fresh after they just took tracks and shit. This was recent in the fucking site, the film site.
Right.
And he's basically the same height as fucking Patty. You know, so it's like she clearly isn't an 8-foot creature.
No,
you know
we never said she was.
Well, no one did, but you know, like when you're
the biggest the lens problem is the discrepancy in size between Patty. She's either 4.5 feet tall or she's 6'3". I'm going to lean more towards the 6'3", seeing as how the man walking, you know, in the, you know, when they did the comparison. You're right. She's not hugely taller than him, but she is taller than he is. She's also leaning forward. She's also hunched considerably forward in that picture, just like an orangutan. If you stretch an orangutan up and stretch its hips out, it's a pretty decently long creature. But when it's on the ground, it's very compacted.
Yeah.
So she very well could be a 7-foot creature, and just leaning over that way, she gives us 6'3" in height.
That's just.
But she was still 1.5 sizes bigger than he was, though. Like in robustness, like in thickness, as in that's not just horsehide and a fucking football helmet and some hip waders.
Well,
because that's what one-eyed Hermanowitz wants everybody to believe, that's what he put on to go down there and fake the.
Well, I don't
hoax
think
the
that
film.
guy did it.
Now I did like the fact that they said, well, maybe Patterson was hoaxed here. Maybe somebody else, unbeknownst to Patterson, or maybe Gimlin was hoaxed with Patterson's knowledge, and it's been perpetrated all these years. But I think Patterson on his deathbed would have let Gimlin off the hook, that he's no longer. Would Patterson really let Gimlin be a stooge?
What if he did?
Years? That would be horrible. But
what
again,
if he did?
No,
what
but
if
you would,
Patterson told Gimlin? And then Gimlin said, you know what? I'm going to put this bandana around my neck. And then he does this. Perks out his little ding, where all the women just love him. Everybody wants to take a picture with the little Gimlin. And then he goes on tour from then on. I won't talk about it for a while. And then,
but you and I know
when I don't want to work
anymore. That site to fake it. Why not just go up to Onion Lake, where you can drive right to the friggin' lakeside and do it? Why not drive over to Blue Mountain?
Back then too.
But my point is, why would you go clear into there to friggin' fake it when you could drive right to a dozen other locations that are just as believable?
Well,
there would be no reason to go in on horseback.
That's why it might have been option 2 when they were hoaxing Gimlin. Just Gimlin.
But see, that's the thing is they told that in this interview too. They weren't even together. Gimlin had gone out in the morning. His horse loosened the shoe. He came back to camp looking to get the shoe fixed to pick up
the day
Patterson.
Before.
Patterson was already gone.
Yeah, that was the day before they found or saw Patty, though. Patterson was gone the day before, is what that guy Fancypuss was getting at. and that the next day they rode out and they decided to go check that area, and Patterson was the first one to run up on it or whatever.
Anyhow,
But
back to the show.
Well, I mean, that's basically the show. So they go from there after doing the whole, they show Gimlin and they talk about the 3 options of how they got hoaxed or how it's a hoax or whatever. And then Danny Boy basically just calls up Gimlin, talks to Gimlin, and basically takes, like, see, men are going to know what I'm talking about when I say this. Females are totally going to, like, be in denial, but like a woman, Lord Fancy Puss took one little bit of information that Gimlin said. I'll defend Gimlin here. One little fucking niblet of information and kind of like twisted it into him admitting that he hoaxed. And only females do that. They will hear you tell them the whole fucking spiel, but they'll take just.
So I was in the store with Angie McGee the other day. So you fucked her, didn't you? Well,
yeah,
I just said I was in the store
you
with
have
the
2
bitch, man.
kids? I can't believe you're getting married to fucking
Angie. Really? Angie,
like seriously.
Peterson?
But that's how females do that shit, though. I've never met a female that doesn't twist words and can't just fucking hear the shit being told to them.
And women, if you're listening to this show, please stop asking us if that fucking outfit makes you look fat. Just stop asking that question, because if you have any doubts, just go change. Don't make us lie to you.
Some just want to be, told something nice. They know they look good,
Well, your man should be telling you something nice every day. If he isn't, kick him out the fucking door. Flat out. If your old man is not making you feel beautiful, loved, and wanted every day of your life, kick that fucker out the door, because that's where you go.
Yeah.
There are plenty of men out there that'll make you feel that way.
Yeah.
Live next on the Reverend Jeff Dating Show, we're going to be talking about how to get your woman to multi-orgasm as well as female ejaculate. That's right. Next on Love It with the Reverend.
A bowl of cereal and a magnet.
Wow.
We just lost all our women viewers. I went off on a rant on how horrible y'all are in the brain. Rev went full perv on you. So, fellas, let's end this show, guys.
Let's wrap this shit up before we get into the sex show with the Reverend. Oh, can you imagine how horribly offensive that would be? Oh, God in heaven. But how many 14-year-olds would we help? Huh? Think about that. Your future.
Saving lives.
Future president could be listening to Sex with the Rev live on Thursday nights. YouTube.
Oh. So they, I don't know where the fuck we're at. So they go to a FX shop. They talk to this dude. Dude says it's a suit. Starts saying, well, yeah, they use this and this and this, but that didn't exist back then. Sorry, bud. And the guy, talks about rumors of the Planet of the Apes guy making the suit and shit. So then they do this, like, test of his hypothesis on, like, shaking the camera and, like, you can make it look like muscles are moving in a fucked up suit. So they have this guy walking on rocks in a suit, and they get him to do the 352, thing.
And they're not even in the right location, because the right location wasn't even found at that point. So they're literally just on some random sandbar. Like, it looked like they were right down the river from the Klamath River crossing there on the road. It didn't look like they were very deep in at all. They're like, let's just go right up here and film it. Exactly my point. Why the hell would you go in 3 miles from the highway or 2.5 miles from Louse Camp when you could just
highway,
I want to ride all night long.
Sorry. But so then fucking Lord Fancy Puss McGillicuddy Esquire the Third starts fucking saying, basically everybody that ever thought there was a Bigfoot is full of shit. And that it's all imaginary. It's a fable people tell, and a fairy tale and it's not real, it's a hoax, and people just tried to, sell Bigfoot, and he said something like, "I'm Bigfoot, buy me," and
right.
America did, he says, and America did. So it's like the Brits, dude, just can't get over it that they just fucking early Americans left. I don't say we because I don't know. I don't even know if I came from this planet, but early Americans, I feel like, dude, I've seen plenty of documentaries now to where fucking Brit people that do a documentary and they go visit America, they are always like, ha, fucking Americans.
Dumbass Americans.
I get Americans are stupid. I'm one of the fucking reigning candidates of fucking stupidity, but serious, like, you guys gotta get over it, man. Like, fuck. You got your own spot.
Literally, America is built upon the leftover remnants of lumber mills. Europe had cut down all of their wood, and they sent people here to build lumber mills to send it back to Europe. And, well, we got all high and mighty and decided to make a society of our own. So, yeah that's what friggin'
And we did. America.
And, greatest country anybody ever murdered another friggin' civilization for it.
So then this fucking douche pillow fucking starts saying there's no science in Bigfooting, and that anything related to Bigfoot is, of course, a hoax. And he looks at the camera and he does his little pose, so you watch him like with his, like he's doing the Captain Morgan fucking pose at the end on a rock and shit, and he's like, and clearly I think he went out saying Patterson Gimlin was a fake. Like that was like one of his last sentences or some shit of the documentary.
Bigfoot can't possibly exist because Bigfoot was never real.
Yeah,
he like drops the mic. Bonk. Lord Fancy Post to the helicopter.
Come on, monkey.
Every time they show his face on camera, all I can hear is
he looks like fucking Lord Fancy Puss from the new Trailer Park Boys.
Oh God. I have not finished the series yet. Do not have me any spoilers.
It was the first one.
Okay, then I've seen it. Never mind. That guy's an asshole. Anyhow, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly. If you guys are one of the VIP regulars, shoot me a notice in Facebook, and I'll send you the live link after show hangout, and we'll sit and talk shit.
Some guy named Hank's about to get a bunch of messages. What did I do?
Multiple orgasms. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Oh,
want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget Wednesday night's Squatchers Lounge podcast, and Bigfoot Campfire Stories is out there, so check them out. New ones coming out probably all season long now that I'm out of Facebook or out of YouTube jail. Yay me. Come play with me, and may the Squatch be with you.
Take it in your butt.
Dude, I'm so serious, man. Sex Talk live with the Rev. Thursday nights at 1 a.m. Pacific.
Call in live.
There's a possibility for that, too. I just haven't figured out.
You want to get your venereal disease diagnosed?
Yeah, call the Reverend. We'll take care of it for you. You got a question that you just can't ask your mom? You can ask me.
You can ask Rev.
That's right. Live on Sex Time Live with the Rev.
He'll tell you.